In such an era, it's now normal for people to record every experience, especially when the four most disappointing words in our digital world, "I didn't see it," gets involved. Well, I'm here with some good news. You'll never have to say those words again. Here are the most incredible moments caught on camera you might have missed. Number 20. Swishes. Even for non-basketball fans, watching Steph Curry do his magic is really impressive. In this video, he shoots from the three-point arc up to the basket hoop, and all we hear is swishes. With the kind of talent he has, he sure deserves the millions of dollars he's paid. You must be wondering how he does it. Well, I do too, but I bet if we ask him right now, he'll give us the same old answer he gives everyone. I train for hours. Number 19. Fooling the king of the jungle. Sometimes, when you want something, you need to put your hunger aside, because it can go terribly wrong. If it hasn't happened to you yet, well, you need to see how it went for the king of the jungle. And who thought that the deer hadn't spotted his presence? To his surprise, it was all a hoax. He clearly wasn't expecting that. I'm sure it left him with a couple of bruises on his paws. Poor lion. But isn't it funny how the hungry lion fell for it? He couldn't even manage to stop and turn to the deer. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure this deer had rehearsed this move before it posted itself by the water. Number 18. Meet the chef. If you were to do what you love, you'd probably not mind spending a few minutes entertaining people. It's certainly the case for the chef here, as he enjoys preparing the dough. He tosses it up in the air as it comes back like a boomerang on his finger, and he spins it around. Honestly, watching him do all these crazy stunts seems more interesting than what they're cooking. No wonder everyone's got their phones out. Number 17. Trucking the wheelie. I don't know about you, but I feel like this driver deserves a tip, if not a raise in his salary, after pulling this kind of stunt. It sure seems like his boss informed him that he had to deliver that load no matter what. I mean, how many times do you see a truck do a wheelie? If I'm speaking for myself, it's my first. Isn't it amazing, considering the huge load it's carrying? Number 16. Fearless cat. After seeing this video, I'm about to believe that cats hate injustice. This kid was so lost in the moment riding his bike out in the driveway that he didn't stop to notice the dog creeping behind him. The dog just came in, all furious, and attacked him. Luckily for the boy, this cat saw what was going on and came to the rescue before the dog could make the boy his meal. It's incredible how the cat's fury scared the dog away and saved the kid's life. This cat definitely deserves steak for the rest of his life. Number 15. Remarkable dad reflex. Dads sometimes tend to be a little extra with their kids, especially when it comes to playing with them. This amazing father-daughter moment was going so well until he sort of overdid it and things were about to turn bad real quick. His beautiful daughter was about to fall, but his amazing reflexes kicked in at the perfect time and saved the moment. Despite it being a near miss that turned out to be spectacular, I think every dad should be given a manual on how to play with kids. Number 14. Is that your Krishna? Up to this point, it's hard to discern whether this guy watches too many Indian movies to be this much inspired, or he's really Krishna. Either way, he's got everyone's attention now. At first glance, you'd think it's a scene from an Indian movie, but this man carried a motorcycle with a ladder after balancing it perfectly on his head. When you start thinking about how much the bike weighs, you'll also have to think about how strong his neck is, which will leave you utterly shocked. It's inarguably impressive, but I just hope it's worth the money. Number 13. Monk runs on water. Nowadays, almost everything seems possible with the proper training, but some things sound ridiculous just by thinking about them. A good example is walking on water, which we left to Jesus, but this Shaolin monk seems to want to beat his record. He defied all laws of physics when he not only walked but ran on the water. This Shaolin monk surprised the whole world as he ran on water for a distance of 118 meters, breaking his record after arranging plywood boards less than 1 centimeter thick. Technically, he did walk on water since the plywood was just there to mark the path he should follow. This Shaolin monk was so quick on his feet as he spread out his arms to keep his balance. Now that everything seems possible, Don't be surprised if someone claims to walk on air. Number 12. TRICKSHOT Master. There are only a few people who can pull off such a flawless trick shot, and this guy is questionably one of them. This alleged pool master simply hit the cue ball with the appropriate power and angle. This gave it the requisite spin and ensured that the cue ball didn't collide with any of the black balls he had positioned. I have to admit that watching the cue ball avoid all the black balls and hit the red ball is rather relaxing. This is the true meaning of skill. Don't you agree? Number 11. A whale up close. It's not every day that you get to witness the world's largest mammal up close. And if it happens, you'd better have your phone ready to record it. Fortunately for these tourists, they were out sightseeing when a hunchback whale appeared out of the sea. Everyone on the yacht was taken back, not only by the size, but also by its tranquility. If you want such an amazing moment, you should start saving up some cash right now so that you can go observe the whales up close. You can thank me in advance for giving you the idea of a wonderful experience. Number 10. Man balances ladder on his chin. It's unclear whether this is a talent or a simple skill, but the fact he performs it with his chin adds a distinct twist. We've all tried balancing a broomstick with our hands at some point when we were kids, but I'm pretty sure it never occurred to anyone to attempt balancing a ladder with their chin. Though it's so tempting and looks cool, I'm not advising you to attempt this unless you want to eat from a straw while lying in the hospital. Number 9. Lion opens the door. Like the cats at home, lions are smart too. It seems this lioness was paying attention after receiving numerous tourist visits. She's learned a thing or two about automobiles and decided to put her newfound knowledge to use one day. When a lioness used her mouth to open the car door, this family's park excursion nearly turned into their worst nightmare. It was so unexpected that the lady standing near the door immediately shut and locked the door from the inside. The thought of what could have transpired sends shivers down my spine. This incident should remind everyone to always lock the door at all times. Number 8. Cat squeezes under the door. Aside from having 9 lives, did you know that cats can fit through very small spaces? Of course you did, but did you expect it to be such a small space? Cats, unlike humans, don't have a stiff collarbone. Therefore, they can pass through any opening, as long as their head does. Check how easily this full-grown cat goes under the door. This makes me wonder what else cats hide behind their adorable little faces. Watching it try to go under the door causes a bit of suspense, since the one thought that crosses one's mind is, what if it gets stuck? Number 7. Meat floats on Mercury. If you're waiting for me to correct what I've just said, then you'll probably wait forever. We all expect metals to sink and wood to float. But when mercury is added to the equation, the rules change. This metal anvil that weighs about 200 pounds floats on mercury, just like wood floats on water. Wondering why? This is because mercury is way denser than any metal, making it even possible for humans to float on it too. Incredible, right? Number 6. Swimming pools below the grass. This homeowner intended to create the most beautiful lawn to save room in his backyard for his kids to run around, and possibly for any barbecue get-togethers. The incredible part comes when a portion of his lawn collapses, revealing a swimming pool that no one would believe existed. The swimming pool beneath the grass is a great addition. Number 5. Grass bubble. Following the day's heavy rainfall, this family noticed a grass bubble filled with water. The lawn bubble was generated as a result of water saturation in the soil. This allowed water to interact with mud and dirt immediately beneath the grass, resulting in the swell. After a couple of holes were punched, standing on top of it, a tremendous amount of water came out of the bubble. Before this, did you know that lawn bubbles existed? They're undeniably awesome too. Number 4. Thousands of birds from a truck. I'm sure the person who recorded the video was wondering what was going on when the truck driver stopped in the middle of the road to blast a whistle. To their surprise, thousands of birds flew out of the vehicle at once. It was definitely worth their time to see these birds pouring out of the truck. It was such a wonderful sight to look at that they easily overlooked why the birds were in the truck in the first place. Number 3. Alex Ziegler. Everyone has a passion, but Alex Ziegler's passion is the most interesting one ever. Alex Ziegler, better known as Zig Zig Zog, has been playing with his baseball bat for a long time and has picked up a few skills along the way that has everyone wondering, how? It's fascinating to see him with his baseball bat and pull off all these feats with such consistency. Number 2. Wine Rack Falls. What would you do if you discovered your favorite wine collection was falling from its wine rack? Most people would attempt to save what was left. But our guy in this video froze and watched as everything fell on the floor. This guy should hire the Department of Paranormal Activity, since it's quite unclear what caused the wine rack to move. It's heartbreaking to see all those wine bottles break and fall to the floor. Number 1. Perfect Highway Drift. This guy chose a fantastic time to conduct his drift when there were no cars on the highway, which proved to be a huge success for him. Cameras strategically placed along the highway caught this guy making the smooth drift, and he sped over the camera limitations. His drift was so good that I think the cops should let him off the hook, even though it's illegal. Until next time, adios.